What's up, people? How are you guys doing? Hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. For those of you who celebrate Easter, hope you had a great Easter. Alright. Let's see. 6 people. That's not a lot. Majority of my class decided not to do the work today. Is that what's happening? What are we doing today? Isn't it? Today's the 13th. Isn't the old man due today, or is it next week? I mean, Wednesday. I forget. It's today, right? I'm sure it's today. For my people that are out there, what are we looking at? Oh, that's probably why we're in the wrong class. Okay, hold on. I'm like, it's today, I'm pretty sure of it. Oh, don't want that. Yep, we got one person. one person has turned in their work today. Oh man, people keep leaving. People dipping out. We got one person. One. Uno. That's not a good look, people. What? Olivia, look at that. You turn it, it's under assessment. It's under assessment. Go ahead and turn it in under assessment. Wow. Look at that. Good. I love how you called it COVID-19. I wonder if I still have the old man. I think I got rid of it. Looks as if though I've gotten rid of it, so let's let me go to course content, pull down the old man. Oops, don't want to do that. Okay, let's show in folder. Or don't. Let's try that again. Show in folder. Alright. JPEG, please. JPEG. JPEG, JPEG. Just makes it easier. Alright, cool. Yeah. So, I mean, I have to say, you know, first time out, first time trying, I mean, you should be proud of yourself for this one. That's really good. Oops. Alright, so to be honest though, there's not much. I mean, this is really good. You still need to come in and touch in some of these areas here. Right there. Of course you can't see that because I just dropped everything. Like right there. Right? Those are the places that are missing. But to be honest, I mean, it's just extra time, right? I don't really think you'd have much, so you come in here, looking at what you got. Probably need to definitely take a lighter color. Alright. Come in here. Just go ahead and give us that shadow, right? And where you have a lot of like strong hard lines, the thing is that you don't want to do that, right? You want it to kind of bleed out, because it does, right? Right? And we give the illusion that there are these very straight lines. That's why I always say use a bigger brush, right? Because the bigger brush allows for it to actually blend out, right? And then once you're trying to get closer and closer to where that line really is nice and straight, that's when you can use a smaller brush, right? But you see how what I'm doing right now is just really accentuating that cheekbone right there that you have, right? Because all I'm really doing is following what you have. I'm just going into it a little bit further, right? And what I want to do is make sure that I'm not drawing, I don't just have these lines here, right? So I'm using a bigger brush, going further than I need to, allowing the color to actually blend beyond where it is, right? And then when I want to make that nice straight line, I go and get a smaller brush, right? Like all of this right here, right? So you have it, I can see it, right? You have everything here. It's just, you really need to just come in and make sure everything gets darker. See what I mean? See how that's working? And then once you have these nice little thin, you have these spaces here, right, where you're trying to pull in the wrinkles and whatnot, which is great. You just make a nice bigger line, and then once you want to get really close and get those little like cracks that looks like cracks, right, you just get smaller. But you start it off with a bigger brush so you can let the light and skin kind of blend with itself, right? But you know, and then at some places you do need to watch it because you're adding highlights here that aren't here, like right here. Right? And you probably could come in here. Oops. Right? I mean, the thing is that most of what you're missing now are the details. So if you were to spend more time on it, you know, you could get this to be a real nice looking piece, adding in those nice wrinkles, right? As they get darker, you get smaller. Do you guys see how I didn't just make a line, there's a whole lot of buildup that comes with it. And I'm looking to see where the darkest area is, and that's the one that I go over more often. Okay. But yeah, this one's really good. Really good. I would tone these teeth down because they're actually in the back, right? They're in his mouth, so they wouldn't catch that much light as you gave it. So you can just tone it down a little bit. Same thing with his teeth in general. Like you got them as like bright white. His teeth aren't bright white. Soften up some of these lines. But then when it comes to the hair, right, because you said you were having hair, it's just like the wrinkles, right? So you'd start with a smaller brush, right, just kind of pulling out the areas that are here, right? If you look at it as though it's more of a shape than just individual hairs, then you can pull stuff out, and then once you need to get in, like I said, you just get smaller and smaller. Right? And you just, the problem is when it comes to stuff like this is that it's all about the little details and what most people in the industry call noodling, right? So you just come in, you know that there's a bunch of little hairs there, right? So you're just coming in making these, trying to make really small lines, going over it multiple times so that it can build up. You know, you're still making shapes, but then you have these individual lines in there, right? And as it changes sides, right? And then you just slowly but surely work it in. But good. There's some spots, you know, more time. In the end, it's more time. So there are some spots like right here on this coat where you could have went over it again just to pop that out, right? Because it does look on the picture as though that's a straight line. You know, I mean, a nice edge to it. So you'd want to come in and just constantly build that up so that it became sharper looking, right? Sharper looking. But good job. Good job. Excuse me. Oh man. 3 people. 3 people turned it in. Man. It could be a very short class. And people aren't going to get, you know, they're not going to get there. Ooh, what happened? You know, critique. This is just, this is what was here. Okay. Whoops, we want this one. I hate ears. Nope. Oh no, where'd my downloads go? All right. So this one's not bad either. Still needs a lot more time going into it, right? Because you gotta, same thing, you gotta come in, you definitely gotta push some of these shadows, right? Because right now everything is looking soft, very, very soft, right? But you've got everything there, you've got everything you need, right? Make this a little bigger. Match, right? And you get that line coming down into his hair. Right? So I mean, you've got pretty much all the shapes that you need. Now it's just all about coming in and finessing what's already there, right? But I mean, you have pretty much everything there. His eye's a little small, right? Probably be out to here. See, look at that. That just instantly added to his eye, right? Make it just a little bit bigger. Come in there and accentuate where stuff is, right? You can come in, remember that you can always come and zoom in, right? And really get in there if you want to, right? Right? Look at that. Eye pops out right away, right? And then come in here, and like I said, everything, the only thing that was really wrong thus far that we've talked about is that the eye was a bit too small. Alright? Right. And then just the sharpness, right? Yeah, I mean, you got the idea. It's not overly done. It's definitely not except for the ear. You said you hate ears, but you can tell that the ear was a drawing, and while everything else you are starting to build up, which is great, right? And so you're just, all it is, the thing about doing this, it takes hours upon hours, and depending on how good you want to be at it, it takes even more hours. One of the main reasons why I don't do it is because it takes so long. Right? Mostly, the biggest part about what you have is contrast. Right? So you just got to come in here and really make it black and white, right? And you got to come in and, you know, granted, I'm still using a very low opacity on mine, but you can always bump it up if it's taking too long, right? And you can just be like, all right, well, I really want to bump this up so that it works a lot faster because I know what's happening here. All right, I also have a very light color, so that helps. You know, it takes longer, but it really does help when you build it up slowly. But do you see how it's starting to come together? All right? You just gotta keep going. In, and this comes down. And you know that there's a lot of shadow here, right? And you've got it. Once again, you know, that's the main thing, is that you've got it. You just gotta push it further. All right? See? See how it's coming together? It's just time. Time and practice. Could probably even fix this ear. Yeah, it's just, I mean, like I said, it's patience and practice, right? And you'll get there if you continue, right? This was definitely a first time for pretty much everybody. And so I didn't just jump out and give you a real easy one to deal with. All right? So there was that note in and of itself, and you guys rose to the occasion, you know? And so that's great. And I'm sure that if we were in school, if we were in class, you know, a lot of these these critiques would have been addressed in class. Right? But because of what we've been in, we didn't have that luxury. But But one thing that I'm hoping that you're seeing by me doing this is that you drew in a lot of lines for the shadows, but you really shouldn't, right? You should just make those, they're gonna happen. You just gotta look at the color. Look at the color shifts, right? And then it'll all come together. Alright, you just gotta come in and deal with it. Is pretty much it. You just gotta come in here and go, okay, this is gonna take me an hour to get this ear to look right. Or however long it will take you to get it right. So, anyway. Excuse me. Good job. Good job. Okay. Not bad, Brenda. Not bad at all. Alright, so one of the things you weren't securing off the face, right? You didn't, you're coloring outside the lines here, so to say. Alright, you're coloring outside the lines here. But I mean, you can see the face, right? It's there. You can tell that you needed a lot more time with this, right? And then of course you had mentioned earlier that you had lost your hard drive, so pretty much had to start over. So it's actually not, it's not bad for the limited amount of money, I mean time that you had to put this together. The main thing that you really have to focus on is the contrast. Like, the contrast is very important, right? And his eye is too small too. A lot of drawing out of frustration. It happens. It happens. I'm gonna drop this back down. But there's a lot of good stuff that you have here, right? But definitely with the wrinkles, you did do a lot of drawing. A little bit more observation, right? Because you're missing things, like you're adding in wrinkles that don't exist, but then you're not really putting in the big major ones that are there, like this one that I'm putting in right now, right? But you got all the little details that went along with it. Wrong way. But I do like what you have going on for the hair. Your highlight is interesting because like this right here, all in the head, that doesn't exist. So it's like you're taking some artistic liberty and trying to make him glow a little bit. Tone down the nose a little bit. Right, and I mean, and you have the stuff here, right? Mostly because you drew it, but it's there. All you have to do now is just kind of come in and give it that depth that happens in these kind of paintings. That's not my latest. This is what you turned in. This came from the assessment one. This is what you turned in. Yeah, like I said, this is, unless you turned it, I don't know where you turned it in at, but, because like I said, I pulled this directly from the assessment, so. Ah. But yeah, mostly, like I said, what I would say for you mostly is contrast. You know, coming in and making sure that the black is black without having to go in and be like, alright, I have a black brush. That makes sense? And don't color outside the lines, of course. But do you guys see that? Right? See, by just adding a little bit of depth, going over it with black, well, not black because it's a very light color that I'm using, but going over it and multiplying it and then allowing it to be darker instantly pushes that character forward, right? So I started over many times because I kept carrying on to the loans. I didn't fix it. Well, that's why you need that flats layer. That flats layer is very important. That's why we put it there, right? You needed that flat layer so that no matter what, when you saved it, right, and it started you over with a completely new history, you could go back and click it with the selection tool, so that way you could stay inside of the shape, so you're not painting outside the head like here. But not bad, not bad. So a couple more must have came in. No? I guess not. Needing grading. Let's see what popped up. Yeah, one more. No, I am not. All right. Got some heavy drawing going on in some places. Heavy drawing going on in some places, right? Especially with this hair, right? You can see every line. We wouldn't see that, but you know, I'm looking at this coat. This coat is black, the way that you have it, but it's not supposed to be black. Right, and looking at the reference image, so you'd have to come in right, you'd have to come in and lighten that bad boy up a little bit. Actually, you lighten this whole thing up. See, and then you come in here too. It's got this little line here. Come back into multiply. I don't know about all that. Very nice words, but I'm pretty sure that's not the case. But, you know, you can just come in here and try and fix that right up. Then, as per almost everybody, it's contrast. Like, you can tell that you drew this line in because there is no gradation in there. Like, I don't even know what happened here. Oh, and then this right here, you can't do that. I know you couldn't see that, but that right there, you can't do that. No scribbles, right? No, just like, don't do that. But, you know, like I said, you want to make sure that you come in with your big brush, give yourself some contrast here, right? Let's see. So there's this line. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller so we can get up in there. I think the brush color I'm using is too dark. Alright, then we come in here. No, let's work on this one. Best part about working on stuff like this is that you can go wherever you want to, right? And you can always come back to another spot. Right? But you definitely want to work, you gotta work some of that. And this picture is really dark, which is funny on how you still need to come in and fix your contrast. But you see how just adding the black and white, like right there, like just this little gray here, but I brought it up into there, really makes that wrinkle pop. All right, and then you can pull some of those wrinkle lines out of the shadow. All right, and there's there. Mostly everything that I've done so far is just following what you have. Yep, it's a different beast, you know. And I know that, you know, and I know that giving you guys this assignment so early on is tricky, right? Because a lot of you have just come out of drawing class, you know, and they've told you exactly what to do with drawing. You may or may not have gone into painting yet, so they're not really hitting you with that. And then here I come going, oh, all that stuff that you did in drawing class, don't do that for this assignment. Right? And then what I would do is come in here, take that, and then hit it a good time, like, right? Try and lighten everything up here, and then go from there, right? And come back in, because you had so much so dark. But now you can just come in, right, and really work on building up that contrast. And then just come out, pull out, and get a little smaller brush. Is it okay? I mean, it's working. It's a different type of hair. Like, his hair is a lot more coarse. But you're like, is it okay for the assignment? Sure. But you just got to remember, like, you don't see all of those individual hairs. You just don't. So you got to think more in line of shape. That's why I always say do the hair last, right? Because coming in, especially with a painting like this, because if you start coming in and you're trying to fill it in, right, you're gonna go over that ear, and then it's like, oh my goodness. I was like, okay, it looked like drawing, so I want to make sure it is a drawing. What you have here is a drawing. For his hair, absolutely, but oh yeah, but that's not really gonna make or break it. I mean, that's an element, right? But it's okay. Yeah, eventually, like, if you keep trying this, it becomes easier and easier, right? Right, but you see how just coming in, looking at where their thicker parts are, like where it's darker than where it isn't as dark. So you got the dark hair, but there are definitely spots that are darker than others, right? And just coming in and making sure you catch those. That's going to be the important part. Alright. But I mean, all in all, it's just going to take you some more time and contrast. But the guy, you know, he's there. The guy is there. So yeah. Not bad. Is what he did with the hair okay? Alright. That was it, huh? 4 people. And we got 7 watching, so that makes sense. 4 people turned it in, 3 extra watching. I sure hope some other people get it in. But while we take a couple minutes and see if someone else is gonna, drop one in last minute, let me tell you guys, like, I hope that you've downloaded Illustrator. You're gonna need it. So we're gonna jump right into Illustrator next class, because I have to give you your final. It was gonna be something different, but due to time constraints and software constraints and stuff like that, obviously we're just gonna push it out, and we're gonna try and do this. Okay. Let's see. If I give you the assignment, yeah. I'm like, if I give you the assignment on Wednesday, it being due on the 29th, yeah, that'll do it. So I'm going to give you your final on Wednesday. So we're going to show you Illustrator. I'm going to give you an assignment, right, so that you can practice at home. And then I'm going to show you how to do your final. Yeah, that'll give you like 2.5 weeks to do it. Okay? I am so sorry. But is everyone okay? Everyone was able to... Hopefully you've already downloaded Illustrator. I know I have. Premiere Illustrator. Let's hope it opens up. There it is. It is the first time that I've opened it from Creative Cloud, so it might take a sec, but updated in my... Okay, took a look at drawing, updated mine in the discussion board. I'll drop mine in. Okay. Okay. Photoshop file. You need to put it in as JPEG. Mr. Kemp. Illustrator still thinking about it. This is what it looks like. Start off with Illustrator. Ooh-wee! Alright. Well, anyway. Don't need to look at that. We're going to look at Mr. Kemp's. Oh, I guess I can just click on it. Whoops. I mean, you're getting there. All right, so you're getting there, but you gotta give it more time, you know. And more contrast. Right? When everything just kind of looks the same, it's not going to work. And what that does is it makes everything look fuzzy. Right? And that's not something we want. Because this poor guy is not fuzzy, right? Right, so you're starting it, you just need to keep going, right? You need to spend more time on these, or on this. I'm just doing this quickly, right? I'm gonna definitely come in and lighten him up a lot. Make sure that he has this big old ear, right? Eye would be a little bit smaller here. Right, so you just need to build it up, right? Give it the time it deserves, and then stuff will all start coming together. But it takes time, you know. Especially if you're doing it the way that I taught you how to do it, then you're going to be using this very light color, which takes time to build up. Now, if you're in a rush, right, you can always use a darker color to get all these dark colors, but the thing is that the more you just go straight to a dark color, the harder it is to blend it out. So yeah. Then if it were me, because he's super dark, maybe not that one. Do you think the people that have not been responding to Blackboard believe that the pass-fail option means that they don't need to do work to get a pass, or do they not care about class? A little bit of both, right? I do believe that people are going to try and fight it. And they'll be like, oh, well, you know, I was having issues or whatnot and stuff like that. But the problem is that everyone has actually turned in something. So everyone has access to the class. It's just, I think that when they heard that it's pass-fail, that, you know, they're like, oh, well, I should be good. But if you don't, if you don't turn in the project, there's nothing I can do for you, right? You're still just gonna fail the class, which is sad, but yeah. But coming from here, like, see, if you come from here now, right? So now you have this nice light. This nice light area to work with, right? Now you can really come in here and just go, all right, let me build this up. Right, and you can just build. Oh, look at how much that just pops him out, right? Right, and you just come in just by lightening it up that first time. Right, we know this down here is all dark, but by lightening it up, you actually get to come in and really focus on getting that contrast, making those things really shine. All right. Alright, and then you can let it bleed out so it doesn't just look like it's... That's the main thing that I try and stress the most when doing this, is that the colors have to kind of bleed out in order for this to really work. Because if everything is just this really dark line, it's not going to work, right? But if you build it up and let other areas come out of it, and it gets darker in certain areas, right, and just builds out, it'll be nice. And like I said, I think you have a good start. You just got to come in and build, continue to push on those contrasting colors. Let's see if anyone else. Last chance. Yep. Okay. Not a Photoshop file. Why are we putting Photoshop files in? So, I mean, this one just needs a lot more work. You know, you see the face, I see it, but you're at the beginning stages of this one. Right? We got the eye kind of in there. Definitely got those teeth, man. Those teeth look great. But we're definitely at the beginning. You're at the beginning of your assignment here. So, I mean, all the things that we've talked about in class today hold true with yours. You need more contrast. You need to focus on the lights and darks, and then going from a thick brush to a thin brush to get your details, right? But in essence, you really just needed to finish. Right? And it's you can't be shy about coming in and going, all right, got a nice big brush. Let's go ahead and mark out some of these areas where it's going to be darker, right? Same thing about right here. Darker there. Darker here. Right? And then there's highlight there. Nice and dark here. It's dark here. Right? Since you've already kind of got something going here. Right? But just doing that. Oh wait, that's right. It was Photoshop file. Forgot about that. Do. All right, let's try that again. All right, so you just coming in and doing some of that light highlight stuff, right? It really allows you to just define some of who this character is from the get-go, right? Right, and the main thing is that you constantly have to look at your reference. Alright, just let that bleed out. This is a big, big area. Alright, bam. Alright. Right, and then you just start building up those wrinkles. And then as they get darker and darker, you're going to get smaller and smaller. And then it'll get darker and darker, right? As you're going away from the light and deeper into that crease. You see how that starts making that wrinkle? So when you come in, and you're like, all right. Right? It still needs to bleed out though. So you don't want to make it too dark too fast on the outside. But if you're looking at your reference, right, you see just how big certain things are, right? Because you know that down here you got little wrinkles coming out to try and break up the rest of that skin fold. All right. this, you know, you got some here. All right, you gotta bring this in like so. See? And then it's just like I said, I can't stress it enough. The thing about this kind of technique is the fact that it's going to take time, and you have to put in the time to get the desired look. That's why when we first started this, I was like, pick something, right? And when I started, I went to the eye, remember? And I was like, well, we're gonna focus on this eye, and that's what I was gonna focus on. And so with me trying to focus on the eye, I can then realize, like, okay, you know, you zoom out, you zoom in, you're like, all right, because you're working really close, right? You're like, all right, we know that that's darker. We know that it comes in and it gets really dark here. Right? So you can really start seeing stuff come together. Work on it from far away. Zoom in so you can see what's going on. Alright, that's when you get to come in here and really go, alright, I know it's gonna get nice and dark because there's an area right there, right where that line is for the crease of the eye, and you're like, alright, got to make sure that that gets nice and dark as far as everything else goes, right? And then you can bleed everything else out, but that spot right there needs to be nice and dark, right? All right, just kind of force that light out. All right, and then the main thing, you always have to go back out to make sure you're not doing a whole bunch of details that nobody can see, right? And there you go. You just got to come in and give it more time. You got to give it more time. Okay? All right, that was it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 people watching, so everyone who actually came to class turned something in. Good. So yeah, I mean, for the most part, you guys did great. You know, a lot of you got very far, did a lot of work, so that was good. That was really good. Some of you needed to put some more time into it, right? You needed more time to do things, and you had to get beyond the idea of that this was a drawing, because it's not. Right? It's a painting. So I think that if, for all of you actually, if you guys all just was like, all right, I'm going to try this again, you could. I firmly believe that, and you just got to take the time to do it. Right? And you can't get frustrated when it's not working right away. All right? So, yeah. Once again, I think you guys did a good job. Okay? So a tough one to tackle, you know, a lot of you rose to the occasion, so kudos to you guys. If you guys, I mean, that's our time. If you guys don't have anything that you would like to talk about, comment, discuss, you know, questions, comments, concerns, complaints, then I'll let you guys go, and we'll do a demo. We'll show you Illustrator, we'll do a demo, right? There'll be something in the course content that'll help you do, you know, practice before you go in to start working on your final. Yeah, and so we can go from there. So I guess your one assignment that you have to do between now and next class is get Illustrator if you don't already have it, right? And remember, you guys are all on that... You're all on the plan, so you're all on the plan. So you should have Photoshop and Illustrator until the end of May. Okay? Are there any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, anything? Old man, no. 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 No? No problems? I'm assuming, since everyone is quiet. Good? No? Would you want us to turn it in with the added critiques? You mean, do you want to return in this assignment? Well, that'll be something that you guys, we can talk about next class as far as doing the redemption project. Because, I mean, this got turned in, right? That's why we had the discussion board. I was checking to see when people were turning stuff in, and we talked about it. So if you wanted some type of critique beforehand, you would have had to turn it into the discussion board, and we would have went over it then. But you don't need to do anything with this unless you're ready to do the redemption project that comes afterwards. But you should always wait until you get your grade. Anything else? Yes, please. You're just making sure. Oh, the redemption project? Yeah, no. The redemption project, I'll tell you about it next class. Okay? So it'll still give you about 2.5 weeks to finish your final, which, I mean, it's just tedious. So as long as you do it, sit down and do it, you'll do it just fine. And then you'll have time to do your redemption project. Okay? And I'll tell you all about that again. Excuse me. Alright. Will the redemption problem help with all missing work? Nope. It will not help with all missing work. We will talk about that because I want to try. I know a lot of people will be jumping in on next class, so I want to talk about that next class. But to answer your question, no, it does not count for all missing work. Alright, well, I'll stick around on chat just a little bit longer then to see if you have any last minute ideas. Okay? But I'm going to go ahead and turn the screen over to, we'll see you later. But I'll still be on chat for a few minutes just in case work that was not turned in correct. Can I fix it? Yeah, it worked that was not turned in correctly. Yes. Yeah, we'll go ahead and let that one slide. You just turn it into the discussion board. Not a problem. Not here to fail you. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to go ahead and switch the screen. I'll stay on chat for a couple more minutes, and after that, I'll see you on Wednesday. We'll talk about the Redemption Project, your final, and Illustrator all in one class. Okay? All right.